Hi there, extraordinary treasurers. Occasionally your bank will notify you that one of the donor checks you deposited has been returned for non-sufficient funds, or NSF. Now what? Three things have to happen to fix this. The donation must be reversed in your Jewel checking account to match the bank's actions. The donation must be reversed in the donor's giving record so their receipt is correct. The church needs to be reimbursed for conference funds if they've already been remitted. Fortunately, Jewel will do all three for you. Here are the steps to take. Identify the donor and the check number. This may take some detective work unless the bank sends the actual check or a copy of it back to you. Let's say for our purposes here that the donor is Rachel Millicent and the amount is $350. Go to Homepage Offerings on the top bar. Okay, let me start that one again.
Okay, that's nice.
Go to Homepage.
Go to Homepage and click on Offerings on the top bar, and then click on NSF Check Reversal. If you don't see it there right at the top, you are using an old version of Jewel, and you'll need to update versions to access this feature. Find the exact check and click on it. If you don't see it at first, you can search by changing the time period from 3 months to all. Or you can sort by date, donor, check number, or amount. If you still can't find the check in question, there may be a reason. Maybe you don't always post check numbers when you enter donations in Jewel. Or maybe you sometimes combine several checks into one Jewel envelope when donors put 2 or 3 checks into one envelope. If you can't find it, please contact me. Do not just make a general journal entry and keep going. Back to number 3. Let's say you did find the check and you've clicked on it, which turned it blue. Since most banks charge for return checks, enter the service fee that your bank has charged you using the bottom left corner of your screen. If there's no fee, you can leave it blank. Enter the account where you post bank fees in the activity name box and the bank fee amount in the expense box. Leave the rest as is. Don't change the memo at all. Click on OK. That's it. Jewel will delete that donation from your donor's end-of-year receipts. And if there are conference funds in that check that have already been sent to the conference, Jewel will make sure and get them back for you in your next remittance check. You don't have to do a thing. It's automatic. Just write the remittance check that Jewel produces the same way you always do. What about reconciliation? When the bank statement comes and it's time to reconcile, you will find the adjustments in 2 places. The actual NSF check amount will show up like this as a negative deposit for the amount of the check that was returned. The service fee that your bank charges will show up like this in the check section. Notice they both have NSF on them, so they're easier to locate, which is good because these entries will be all mixed up with all your other checks and deposits, and you may have to click on more deposits or more checks to even find them. But they are there. Find them and check them off. If you followed these instructions but you don't see these entries on your bank rec page, call me. Don't just use the new entry button to add them in. And this is really important. It's important to always enter the correct check number when you're entering offerings. It will save time and aggravation when NSF checks happen. And it will give the IRS receipt the correct information. Sometimes donors put 2 or more checks in their tithe envelope. Please do not enter them that way. It happens more than you might think that one of the checks is returned and the other one is not. When that happens, you need to contact me so that I can split the 2 checks out for you. To avoid this, create a different envelope in Jewel for each check. If you know the donor, it's okay to ask them to only put 1 check per envelope to help you out. You can blame it on the auditor if you wish. When you use the new entry button or create a general journal entry for the amount of the check and the bank fee, the donor gets credit for that donation on his receipt, and the church pays tithe to the conference that they don't owe. Please don't do it that way. Checking accounts are not the only accounts that need to be reconciled. Savings accounts do too. Reconciling savings accounts is the same, yet a bit different. You got it. We're going there next.